Let's talk about what we've got going on tonight. Our first guest tonight, Mark Jones, Commissioner of Precinct 2, is joining us here from Hays County. Mark, thanks for coming on, We the People, tonight.
Well, I appreciate you having me, Rob. Glad to be here.
And we're going to be talking to you about redistricting and all the things going on. Talk a lot about that tonight. But also, first, please get your phones ready to go. 512-754-0084. And you can call in and talk to us tonight, because one of the reasons Mark has come down to us is that there's some public forums that are going to be coming up. And if we switch over to the screen here, and then I know we've got a slide for this too, we're going to be having meetings on this. It's going to be Monday, July 25th, 6 p.m. All the meetings here now are going to be in the full court, are going to be at the Commissioner's Court.
It's even more of a public hearing than a public forum, because it'll be, you know, all the commissioners will be there, have the minutes will be taken, and so it'll be an official meeting. So
people can come down and they can speak for 3 minutes, right? And get up and speak. And what you're going to be talking about in this hearing is about the maps.
Right.
And what we've kind of talked about that a little bit here is that this is the current Precinct 2 map here on the redistricting. Or before redistricting. This is where you currently...
That's how it is as of today.
As of today. Yeah. And these maps were drawn back in 2000.
Right.
Now, we all know that the county has gone through a lot of changes within 10 years. And a lot of population that has come into the county has came into your precinct, into Buda and Kyle. So what has to happen is we have to even this out. What's the amount that they have to have population-wise for each of the precincts?
Yeah, we've got 4 commissioners, so they're trying to get to the 25%. There's the last census put Hays County at 157,000, and in Precinct 2 I had 52,000, and that's not, really if you just took in all the Buda and Kyle area, that's anywhere from 60 to 65,000, but some of that area is already in Precinct 1 from the last redistricting. So the Buda and Kyle area is the large majority of the county at this time.
And so part of this means that, okay, so we have to kind of shuffle where those lines are for people.
Right.
And how this matters is that you have a voting box that you go to that you vote. If you pull out your voter registration card, you've got either a 1 beforehand, a 2, a 3, or a 4. And that tells you what precinct you're in. So if you're in 227, you're in the voting box currently that's just north of San Marcos, to the south side of Kyle.
And the east, yes.
The east side of Kyle, but that is 227 is your...
It's my precinct.
It's your precinct.
Part of my precinct.
Represent.
Yes, sir.
And so that's one of the areas in these maps that is, going to probably shift and will be part of Debbie Inglesby's in Precinct 1.
Yeah. We've got to lose 13,000 people. There's no other way around it. So there's not an easy way to do it. There's not a comfortable way, and there's probably not even a good way to do it. So Commissioner Inglesby, what makes it tough though is Commissioner Inglesby's already at 25% of the population. She could stay exactly like she is and not lose anyone. But then that means that the whole 13,000 out of Precinct 2 would have to come on the west side and go into Wimberley and to Precinct 3 and Precinct 4, which makes it, that's just not something that we'll be able to do, in my opinion.
Right. If you go over to the other map here, and we'll kind of give you an idea of what we're talking about. This is Hays County, and this is the proposed map here.
This is the map that I've drawn up for Precinct 2. So.
Okay. And it's just one of about 4 or 5 maps.
There's probably 6 to 7 out there right now. So it's getting kind of confusing. It can be kind of mind-boggling.
Now let me kind of go back at a bigger level, and we'll come back and talk about the redistricting here in just a second. But let's look at Commissioner. Okay, what is it that we have a Commissioner's Court that meets every Tuesday down here at the county courthouse.
Right.
Go up the stairs, take the elevator, go up to the 3rd floor. You're responsible for, basically, you're a road commissioner. You're responsible for the roads.
Yeah, right.
And what else? Kind of tell folks, what is it that you do?
We're in charge of the roads and all the unincorporated areas. Any drainage issues outside the city limits we take care of. We set the tax rate, which affects the whole everyone. where we set the budget for all the the county departments, whether it's tax assessor, the sheriff's department, which is our the biggest part of our tax. We have the department heads answer to the commissioner's court, but the elected officials run their run their office as they see fit. The only thing we control is their budget. So that's basically what we do as commissioners.
Well, and there's a slide there, producer. If you go down, go back to our initial startup, and I think we've got a slide there. And one of the things we talked about last week was we were comparing, kind of to give people an idea. What I always say is that you're kind of like on the board of these organizations. We had last week Shane Scott, who is on the city council here in San Marcos, and we talked about how the city of San Marcos has a budget, and that budget and the people that we have, and that city budget is about $270,000 that they've got coming in. They service about 47,000 people, and you kind of look at it, they've got about 500 so employees. All right, so you've got the county of Hays is the other big employer. I mean, that's the other big business that we've got that employs.
Well, in Hays County, it's the cities, the county, and the school districts are the biggest employers.
Yeah, and that's kind of what we were looking at, just as a, to show everyone here, with the size, and if you look at it as a business, now right now, you've got revenues coming in at about those numbers. I know we've had Sam on before, and we've talked about those numbers. Kind of get thrown around,
right?
But in the numbers that we've got here, it looks, you've got your revenues are a lot lower right now than your expenditures, just based upon building projects. That right now we've got some huge building projects with the roads. I know, and a lot of the road bond money went into your precinct.
A lot of it went on several projects. We've got the biggest one is 1626. It's 2 different sections, so that's the biggest part of our that's in precinct 2. So it in a way it looks like the expenditures may be above revenues, but a lot of that is because of the bonds. It's kind of like you're on your mortgage. You're spending a lot. If you had to pay that mortgage all in 1 year, you wouldn't be able to do it, and that's how the county is on that, and that's why the numbers look that way. And
I think this is just, we're aware of it. That's good. We're discussing it, and people are bringing it up.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one big change, is that a lot of this is, some people could say a Tea Party movement. Some people can just say a big change, I think, in a shift of people wanting to get involved, which is good to see.
That's good, yeah.
And I think that, you've been very open, and that's one thing that I've been glad to hear and glad to see, is that everyone has said, when we come to Mark or we come to his office to talk about it, that openness, and I think that's really appreciated out there.
Well, and it's easy for me because I'm serving as a commissioner in an area that I've grown up my whole life. It's just like I'm at home at any place in precinct 2. So I'm not doing anything, or I don't have to. What's nice is I don't have to go to anything or do anything that I wasn't doing before I was a commissioner, because I was involved in the community before, and I'm just as involved now as I was then. So it makes it easy for me.
Now, you were on the school board previous to this
2
on
terms.
Hayes,
right?
The CSD,
yes.
And what that was some good experience for you in the community.
Yeah.
But we always talk to people about getting involved, and this is something that. You kind of said, no, I really hadn't thought about this before, but you felt a calling.
Right. And
what are some of the things that you've kind of learned over the last 9 months or so that you've been since you've been?
It's been a little over 6 months, about 6.5 months.
Okay.
And the biggest thing, there's a lot more to this job than I ever thought. But the good thing is I've enjoyed it more than I thought I would also. Like today, I had my first meeting was at 6:15 this morning, and my last one's at 8:30 tonight. So, and it's been, there's something going all the time. There's something different. It's a job that you can really make a difference in your community. As a school board member, I enjoyed that a lot because I was very, very involved in the Hays School District beforehand. I, ran Little Dribblers basketball leagues for 24, 25 years. I've been involved with our athletic department, but the school board, you kind of, as more of an overseer, you kind of set policy, and then the superintendent and administration carries that out. As a commissioner, you run your department. You're both of those. You have administrative duties and policy making duties. So you get to do both ends of the spectrum, and that's what makes it very interesting. I mean, every day is something different with this job.
Now you've got one admin that helps you,
and I have the best. Nothing against the other three, and or Lon or any of the others, but I've got an outstanding administrative assistant. She's got her degree was in political science. She's got a master's degree in public administration, and she keeps me in line. She thinks I'm a paper magnet, so she spends a lot of time just straightening up around my office and make sure everything gets filed. But I could not ask for a better assistant.
Now you've got an office in Kyle,
right.
And we've got up here how the contact, and you can find that on the Hays government website. And this is one thing that Hays County has really gone and trying to change the website. I know there's a lot of work that you've been doing
right.
on that here over the last few months. We've seen a lot of changes there.
We're trying to make it a lot little user friendly, and hopefully it'll be something that people can go to and get the information they need.
And and I think that's the other thing is that people can come to you as well and ask for the help, or come to your office and ask for the help.
We're in the right now. We rent our office from the city of Kyle, and they've asked us to. We've already gotten our eviction notice, I guess you could say. So we're having to build a new Precinct 2 building, but we're moving it a little closer to the center of the precinct, and we're able to, by building it, we're able to combine some departments that'll have some savings in the long run, and get out of the rental business, and hopefully have a building that we'll own for the next 50 years, clear and free. So
well, and this is where a lot of the growth is in the county, and it's it's best to look at that ahead of time.
Well, and even a Precinct 2 building, even if you're in the Butte and Kyle area, that's going to be the building that you'll go for county service. Even if you don't live, I mean, if you're redistricted out of Precinct 2, you're still going to go to that building for your services anyway. So it's going to serve the 60 to 65,000 people.
Yeah, and we're still going to be there.
Yeah.
So. Please call in tonight, 512-754-0084. We do have the lines open. If you've got a question tonight for Commissioner Mark Jones about the redistricting or about anything, I think
that's right.
We said anything's open tonight, and you want to just talk about the potholes on your road, and do you hear that? I mean, I go down off of Goforth Road down Palomino,
yeah. Right,
and. Boy, I'll tell you what, those people out there, I'm sure they're going to be knocking on your door, because that road needs a little bit of work there.
Most days we get a call about needing brush cleared out of a right-of-way. We can't see down the road, or we've got a pot. We've got one advantage we have. We use the school district, the bus drivers. Whenever they have a problem with roads, they drive those roads every day. So we get a report from the school district every so often, and that helps us, because we can't, as like you said, as big as we are, we can't be on every road every day or every week. So we use every resource that we can to kind of provide the best service that we can.
Now, and that's one way of doing it. I didn't even think about that. You've got
it doesn't cost you a thing.
out there, yeah.
It doesn't cost a thing.
And they're out there, and that's I think that's something that we talk about things that you can do, and when you're out there driving, and when you're out, getting people involved, that's one of the things. Is just send a quick email, and they do care. I think you do care, and people do.
Just this week we've had a friend of mine goes down Kohler Crossing all the time, and we just connected Kohler Crossing up to 35. Yeah. But you had a stop sign at Kohler Crossing right at a dry hole road, which is not as well traveled, but you had to stop on Kohler Crossing, and you had the right of way on dry hole. We had, there's 3 or 4 times that we just missed having some serious accidents. So we just turned it into a 4-way stop because of a citizen letting us know. Yeah,
and it was something new, and that's all. That whole area is changing, and just someone hadn't really thought of that, and a lot of times we don't. I don't think until something happens.
And those people are out there every day, and they see things. They bring it to our attention, and if it makes sense, it's good for the county. It's something that we usually can handle.
Mark, one thing we talked about last week was the LCRA water deal that's coming in. And I talk however you like or wherever you feel on that, but I know that's one thing that people have been coming down and talking with the county about is, now the county is starting to get involved in water where we haven't had that in the past as part of the services provided by the county.
Right.
And is that in your district, or is that outside of your
district?
That's
outside of my district. And again, as you know, I voted voted against it. I didn't feel like it was the proper venue for the county to get into at that time, but since I lost that vote, they're in the middle of doing their due diligence, and so I'm trying to be as supportive as I can, and hopefully they'll get the information that we need to make an intelligent and the sound decision. So
okay. That was something
yeah.
we brought up, and
no,
what we do is, people will send us videos, and
yeah.
people send us things to ask about, and that's what this show is about. Yeah. So you have your chance to go on ahead and call in or send us something on Facebook, and we also keep posted there as well for what is going on. And we talked about you getting involved and with the changes going on with Kyle over the last few years. And where do you've lived here all your life.
Right.
Where do you kind of see Kyle and Buda and the districts going? What's some of the trends that you're seeing here, and especially with the economy, with it changing and shifting here? What's some of the things that you're seeing out there you could share?
One thing I've told people when I was out campaigning, I always wish that my kids could have grown up in the Buda that I grew up in, but I know that's not going to happen now. And I think what we've got to be careful of is that Buda and Kyle, and including San Marcos, don't become Round Rock, Pflugerville, and then Cedar Park and Leander, because of the the massive growth that they're experiencing in the traffic along 35. So I'm trying to look for ways to, we're doing a lot of work on Daisy Lane on the east side, and anything that we can do to improve our mobility Alpha 35. 1626 is probably, again, like I said, it was a major effort that we've got to have for our area. 1626 is a must, but not only 1626, but once we get that, we've got to get 45 in there also, or else we don't get the full benefit out of 1626. So congestion and mobility is going to be a big part of what defines Buda and Kyle here in the future, and I think that we've got to be able to handle that, or we're going to be in the same have some of the same problems that some of those bigger cities do in Williamson County. Oh, now some of the projects that are wrapping up right now along I-35 and those connector roads that are going in, and the construction that is now finally coming, is really culminating, and I think we're moving through on the bond money. Right. Do you think that's going to open that up for that future growth, or do you think that there's going to need to be more that we're going to have to be looking at another 5 to 10 years? I think this is a major step. We still got the extension of I-35, the frontage roads from Kyle Parkway all the way to Yerington, so that's going to be a big help by turning those excess roads into one way, because there on both sides of 35 there's some pretty dangerous egresses in it, and that we've had near misses and have had some pretty bad accidents, so that's going to be a big help. We've got with 1626 and some of the others, and we've got some of the major things done. One of the other projects we're working on, we're doing the 150 connection in Kyle that takes Center Street basically out across the highway and behind Dairy Queen, and release some congestion along there also. We're doing some things on 967 also that'll help some of that area also. So we've always, we've got some major things, but there's a lot of little things that we need to be doing also on some of these roads to make them more, to help our congestion. So just looking at the little things now, you've got the basic building blocks. Now, how do you tie that in? Yeah. And for those of you that are not from Texas, all right, what we talk about is Texas has feeder roads that go along, and what will happen is they're two-way lights, so you've got to cross traffic to get onto the interstate. And there's folks that come from other states that come down here and think we are crazy as all get out to drive these things. That's right. And so what has been happening is that, so you don't have to crisscross traffic and kind of guess whether that other guy is going to yield to you or not. One of the major changes along the corridor from San Marcos up to Buda has been taking these access roads and making them one-way rather than two-way, and you're pretty close. I mean, there's only a few more areas. Like I said, we've got some, there's an area right by the Hayes High School Administrative Office where the bus barn is that we've had, there's an accident there once a week. On the other side, you've got going into the Coles area, you've got cars coming, both ways. You've got to yield. They're going on the highway, or they can go straight, and then you've got another entrance from another road coming in at that exact point. So it's extremely dangerous, and it's something that we've got to fix. That's good. And those are the kind of things that now that we've gone out and we've taken on this debt. Okay, we've got to get it paid off. We're going to have to move on down. So, and that's the good thing, is that you're looking at ways that we can utilize the infrastructure that we've built. And how can we do it better? And we've done, our projects have been coming in under budget, so we're coming in under what the voters were promised as far as tax, what their tax rate was going to be. The state's paying. We got in on the pass-through bonds at a good time. They're not the contracts that we signed on those aren't available anymore. You can't get the same deal that we got back then. So we're getting paid back on our pass-through bonds faster and sooner than anticipated. So there's some good things happening. Also, the Hays, our sales tax for the county every month this year has been a record for that month. So there are some good signs. It's not all doom and gloom.
Yeah.
There are some good things happening.
We've seen a good bit of retail that has came in to the Kyle area. Seton Medical Center has just been,
and that may be one of the biggest booms to Kyle and Butte is that area. The Seton Hospital, because that serves so many people. You don't have to leave Kyle and Butte for about anything you need. You can get in Kyle and Butte now. And I was seeing that on the news the other day, they were saying that Austin, Texas was the #1 destination for retirees now. And Seton Hospital may have a lot to do with that also. So we'll be getting some of that overflow also. So
because the Seton opened up about a year ago, right? And
a little over a year.
So it's just really in the last 6, 7, 8 months that we're seeing a lot of good jobs that are created there. And
well, they grew faster than they were able to handle. They were opened up floors months before they had planned because of the growth. We're also on August 1st. U.S. Foods will be receiving trucks, and they'll be open for business on August 1st, and they'll have that's better paying jobs.
Now, U.S. Foods is a project that is going in. It's up in Butte,
off of Turnersville Road.
And there was a lot of conflict and a lot of people but it is what it is right now.
Yeah.
So now the best thing is I know you're going to be watching how that traffic flow is, how this is going to work with neighbors.
And that's one of the reasons. One of the projects for Campo that I'm putting forward is to put the exit ramps on 35. They did the improvements, but TxDOT did not have the money to fund the 8 exit ramps that they had designed for that area. So we've got the road, but we don't have any way to get on and off of them now. So hopefully that project will be one they accept. So that was one of the 2 projects that I put forward for this next Campo.
So now, because we don't have that exit ramp there, they're going to what kind of route are they going to have?
Well, what we're trying to do, the biggest problem is we've got too many of the gravel trucks still going through Butte because they can't. We've got what they call cement plant overpasses fixing to open up, but without those X's and entrances, they can't get. It's not worth their while to use those. So if we get those in, it'll help us get those trucks out of the downtown Butte, which will be a big help.
And that's one of the things that people have to realize, I think, is that here in Hays County we are, we've got a lot of rock quarries and cement, and these are some big businesses. Keep a lot of people employed, and all up and down the corridor here, basically along the Balcones Fault. I know that we've got just south of town here, we've got between San Marcos and New Braunfels, and all the way on up to Austin. This is a lot of our commerce that we have, so we're going to have to look at that.
Gravel's our only natural resource in Hays County, so that's it. So.
Well, now we also have, let's see, we've got mesquite, we've got
you can have all
cedar
that
poles,
You mentioned water earlier, and I've always said all along, I think I could solve, if I could do it, the way I would solve our water problem was to eradicate cedar in Hays County, and I think we would have as much water as we would need. So.
Yeah, if we could just get rid of all those the sucking of the cedar that's dry out there. But and one of the other things too, you've got wanted to touch base with you basically was the parks and the bonds and some of the new parks that are going in. Give us kind of an update. I know there was some in Butte and in Kyle and in your district.
Well, they did something, 5 Mile Dam Park. They've done some work there, and it's amazing how many people use that park on a weekend. You can't count them. The soccer, I didn't know soccer was as popular as it was, but I'm finding out real quick. But one of the ones going in mind is the Dahlstrom Ranch project. That's part of a partnership between the Dahlstrom family, the conservatory, and Hays County. What I like about that, and a lot of this, these parks were done before this court, before we were elected and on this court. So we're dealing with something that was done before us. But the reason I like the Dahlstrom Ranch is because of the public access that it's going to have. It's some of the best recharge zones in Hays County on that ranch. Plus, they've got several just large caves that are going to be pretty educational for our kids. They've already got the parts that the county's going to be in. We're going to have tours. It's going to be an interactive. People are going to get to see a part of Hays County that they normally wouldn't get to see. So I'm excited about that.
And the Dahlstrom's going to be really neat because of how many acres? It's a huge.
Well,
tract.
They're going to keep operating part of it as a family business, and the county's part we'll have over about 300 acres that we're going to have hiking trails. We'll have some picnic areas and things like that. One thing when I was touring it with them, we looked at some of these large caves, and these caves are just huge, and you can walk down in them. And they were talking about how they were going to have to grade them for safety and everything. But one suggestion I had, and they thought that it wouldn't be a problem, is that grade them as far down into the cave as you can without destroying, or where there's not, where people can go down and at least get a feel for what it's like to get at least that far down in those caves for the kids that can get in there. So that's one thing that we're looking at there. But it's going to be, I think it's going to be a nice project for us.
Well, and one of the things I'm glad to see is we've got a lot of Greenbelt. The San Marcos Greenbelt Association has done a lot of good work here in the San Marcos area, but we've kind of been lacking up in a lot of the high growth areas in the Kyle area and in the Butte area.
Well, and we partnered with the city of Kyle. We've got several parks in there. We just opened up another I guess I used to call them softball fields, but they're kickball fields now. It's amazing how many adults are into this adult kickball. They have over, I think they have 50 to 60 teams play every fall and summer in this kickball league. So we've got that.
It's amazing how many adults get injured at that. I was talking about.
That's right.
A friend of mine at work that they were getting together, and they've been on the show with the youth baseball, but all the parents got together and we're doing the kickball.
And we're fixing to open up Kyle Park, where the kids can go there, or anyone can go there and fish in Kyle Lake. So it's something that's kind of exciting.
Well, and you talked about 5 Mile Dam and talked about the soccer. Now next week we're going to be having New Braunfels select soccer team. Richard McCarter is the coach, and we were out this last weekend, got some good footage at the Habitat for Humanity home that they were building over in New Braunfels. And we're going to be having our blog starting up for the station here, and that's one of the articles that you'll see up there. Coming up in a week or two, we'll be bringing that out. But next week, they're going to be here to talk. And Griffin and I had gotten some good footage of them out doing the soccer. Yeah. And their philosophy is with basically filling that void with a lot of these youth, with getting them at 15 and 16, getting them involved in soccer so that they have a way to get scholarships and go to school. Yeah. And one of the things when we were out filming that was really interesting was we were talking with some of the Parks and Rec and talking with some people that the amount of people that were coming from out of town that were staying here in the area, that were staying at the hotels, that were staying here in the county. And, wow, here we've got this beautiful open area that's attracting people, and that is for Hays County as economic development from our parks.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I mean, I've been involved with select basketball for the last 8 to 10 years, and it's amazing when you go to these tournaments how many people come out of town. We have 4 or 5 in the Butte Kyle area. They use our gyms, and people are staying in our hotels. Even something like the winter dog races, what that brings in. You could, Butte has, I think, 5 motels now, and you could not stay in Butte, Texas during the winter dog races.
No,
they were all booked.
And they were amazing. They were having people. I remember seeing that they were all the way up into Austin on the other side. I mean, if we have Formula One and Wiener Dog races together, forget it. They're going to be down in Seguin or something trying to find hotel
and usually if I go to Butte, I know just about everybody, but at the Wiener Dog races, I don't know hardly any of these people. So there's a lot of out-of-towners coming in for these things and spending their money.
And that's good.
Yeah,
and
that's good for the economy.
Good stuff
it's
to
good
see
for the people of Butte.
And we're here. Well, Mark, again, we can come on out this week. Let's see if I can pull up those redistricting meetings again. And So we're going to be having this week. You're going to be. We're finishing up. Have you got any more meetings this week that people can come?
I've got
to?
tomorrow, Friday, from I believe we've got on there either 1 to 3:30 or 3:30 or 1:30 to 3, just depending. But it'll be in there. These meetings have just been kind of. We've opened up the office. The office is open 8 to 5, and people can come in. We've got the large maps up, and they can look at it. But these times that we have posted are times that I've scheduled off to be available to answer questions. Okay. And then the 3 public hearings will be. We spoke about those earlier. I would like to say the one on Monday, it says 6 o'clock, but I know that's hard for people to work to get there, so I think we put there for 6 to 8, so we'll be there at least till 8, and you don't have to be there right at 6 to speak. As long as you come during those times.
So there isn't a sign up on that, and that's good for people, but
right.
That is the only one during the evening.
And that's why, and again, that is why I've started did a lot of evenings and weekends in the office to give people the opportunity that could make it to these, at least to get a chance to look at them, and then they can send their emails. They can contact the commissioner and the judges with their opinions or their thoughts.
And also, those can be watched live. We've got that there, and folks can go out to the county, and we'll post those links for the map. This map here is the one that you're proposing, is the M1 with the, and we'll give that link out here.
And again, that's where we're starting point. And after the public hearing and through the town halls we're having, we're still open for discussion on these.
Well, Mark, thank you very much.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
Please feel free to come on out anytime. That's what we're here for. And Mark Jones from Precinct 2 Commissioner, and good luck, Mark, and thanks for all that you're doing for the folks out there. And
well, thank y'all for putting this on. It's a good service for the county.